Hello and welcome to MrRelationshipMan.com, ResultsWithRonnie.com. You are now listening to the Results with Ronnie podcast series, and I am Ronnie Walker, your master coach of exceptional relationships and sex. And today this is a little bit of an impromptu podcast, and I won't stay long, but it was just something that I will share, hopefully once the editing is done on that end. There were some podcasters that was doing a panel that listed some of my material in Australia, and they called me to be a part of this panel concerning dating and the views in which they feel both men and women have changed, evolved. Has it gotten worse? Has it gotten better? And that there were some things that they felt that I could add to the conversation, especially getting the mindset of men and women in Australia as well as in America. And when it got to me, they said, well, Ronnie, what is something that you feel that needs to be looked at and defined that we feel that we're missing out on here in the male-female engagement and dating? And the first thing that came to my mind was accountability. And it was interesting, the silence that I got. And it says, really, that's unique. So before I tell you what I said, let me just go into accountability in and of itself. Now, everyone listening to this, I'm sure you know what accountability means and how it plays into our lives every day. But one of the biggest challenges in the world of self-development as we're looking to grow is accountability. To the point where when people ask themselves, Ron, do we really need coaches and dating? And then I'm quick to say, well, you can look at some of the most prolific, talented athletes in the world. And even after all the accolades, the endorsements, the championships they've won, they still employ a coach. Why? Well, I would argue one of the reasons is the accountability. See, the coach, and some of them were ex-players, some of them weren't, but the gift of a coach is really to bring out the best in that person. And see, the key is not just sometime, but all the time, especially when they need it the most. Because as we know, life has its series of ups and downs, and how that person, that champion at the time, interprets those challenges in life could affect their overall performance in a game, be it a championship or on the way to a championship game. And so the coach makes it a point to bring that out, helps them, remind them, holds them accountable to the eating, the sleeping, the practice. Now, of course, we all know that there are many times the athlete hates the coach. But they understand that it's not something that's going to be easy or hard, just worth it. And the results show over and over and over. And I can pick any number of athletes in any given sports, and I can tell you, outside of thanking mom, dad, and the God above, they will thank their coach. So when we talk about self-development for the everyday person, accountability is important. But the challenge, again, is holding ourselves accountable. So if it's learning a lot of the language, improving your scholastic achievements, just overall health, wealth, accountability is needed. And although we do have outside accountability, which is very important, in the end, what's important is that we learn to hold ourselves accountable. Because in the real world, the outside accountability is not always there. So then you become the motivator. And this is what you want to end up being, because They will tell you that you don't want to create some form of codependency on those outside forces. And again, it's a challenge. I'll be one of the first to tell you there are challenges in that, and holding yourselves accountable, because every day you wake up may not be a mood that you're in to do something that you know is best for you in the long run. But you get up and you do it. You find those reasons deep down. You have to dig mentally, emotionally, to say, you know what? I don't feel like it, but I'm going to push through anyway, because this is going to get me the result that I'm looking for. Even in the space of self-love, one of the most important things that I feel is left out in the journey of self-love is how you measure yourself of self-love in the relationships that you have with others. So it's enough to say that you're wonderful, you're an incredible human being, and then you go out into the world and the relationships you have, be they business, career, platonic and intimate relationships, are horrible. So one would argue that it's not always what you see of yourself that really determines how much love you have for yourself and how much love you, or lack thereof, love you share with others. So it's easy to be on a mountaintop somewhere in a yoga position and talking about you're wonderful and beautiful, as I agree that is part of it. But again, not until you're in the real world and interacting and people share that and people feel that from you. They see the growth. They feel the growth. The energy that is projected from you. The leadership. The caring. The generosity. The smiles. Their overall contribution that you provide to their fulfillment and whatever it is they're looking for in life that comes from you plays in the whole self-love space. So what does any of this have to do with dating? Well, it's simple. What I found in all of my years of coaching and consulting with couples, single, people that have recently divorced and trying to get back into the world of dating, those who've been single and that have not dated in a while and they're fearful of getting back into the world of dating. One of the things I've seen as a pattern of for some people is, you see, they have no problem of keeping the other person accountable to whatever it is that they are looking for. So they can tell you real quick what they ain't going to do, what they're not going to do, and yet have a laundry list of things of what the other person is supposed to do for them before they cross the line to move towards them. So they know the person is supposed to call so many times a day or a week. They know they're supposed to receive a text so many times a day or a week, and then how soon they text them. They text back after you've texted them. They can tell you how many times they ought to receive flowers, how many times they go out to eat, and trips. They already know what the other person's doing. They're going to make sure that they're going to hold them accountable to that. But then I ask, well, what are you accountable to during this courtship period? And what you will find in so many cases, you get silence, or they stumble for things. And what you'll also discover is that whatever list they have for themselves is nowhere near as long as the list they have for somebody else. Now, I'm not saying that you should not hold that person accountable. You have your standards. You know what you want. You know what has to happen for you to feel appreciated, loved, welcomed, and something that you will hope to have as a long-term relationship, leading to whatever destination you both agree that you want to go in. And that's great. But if you really want to make sure that you're hitting on all cylinders, you need to be real clear on what you're accountable to. If anybody has listened to me or read any of my posts, be it social media, be it Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I'm always talking about you go into a relationship to give, not to focus on receiving. You see, if you're giving and the other person's giving, they're receiving and you're receiving. But if the rules or engagement is all about what you're looking to receive first before someone else you decide to give, well, then you're going to run into a challenge, because at some point that person's going to feel as though they're being used. So when you finally get around to saying, this person has jumped through all these hoops, went through the fire, slept on a bed of nails, run over hot coals, now I'm going to say something like, I like you. And the other person is like, what? All of this? All of this time spent? Money spent? Text in 2.3 nanoseconds? And all I get is I like you? And they're gone. And this mindset of men doesn't need some form of affirmation or some form of knowing where you are, and if he does, there's something soft or weak about him. Ladies, you're going to put yourself into a world of hurt. Now, men may not call it that, but make no mistake about it. Men need to know that their efforts are being acknowledged. Or by the time you choose to acknowledge it, he's already on to something else. I'll give you a little side note. One of the things that you will find from the women who complain about quote-unquote side chicks and why they feel they're winning? Side chicks make that guy feel he's appreciated. Now, mind you, let me make this very clear. I'm not condoning that, nor do I sit here and say, fellas, if you're not feeling appreciated for a woman that you're dating or in a relationship with, go get someone on the side. No, that's not what I'm saying. But you hear women, I look better than her, or what does he see in her? It's not what he sees, it's what he feels. It's how she makes him feel. Now, that's not the case in every single scenario, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that in a world or in the space of dating, a man needs to be acknowledged that what he's doing is good. It contributes to the overall health of what could be a great relationship. So hold yourselves accountable in what it is that you're looking to give in this ongoing courtship process. Fellas, stop focusing on what she brings to the table. Know who you are, know what you're about, make it clear what your intentions are, and step up to the plate. And if she is the right woman, she will reciprocate. And if you feel she isn't, then respectfully dismiss yourself from that situation. Still wish her well, but again, she may not be the one for you. But give. Hold yourselves accountable to making sure that your intentions are known, that this is a woman that you want to have in your life. And if she's the good woman, the woman for you, she will hold herself accountable to making sure she lets you know that. Ladies, hold yourself accountable to letting him know that what he's doing and his efforts are acknowledged. It goes a long way, trust me when I tell you. because this is a part of the journey that a lot of men, oh my goodness, as I talk to them over and over and over throughout the years, I can't tell you how many times this has come up. A lot of men have been burned, used, bank accounts dry, meeting what they felt or was told to them the standards are for a woman they're trying to court. Time spent, Texas responded to all of the above. And he says, Ron, through all of that, I didn't even get thank you. I appreciate all the doing. And when they did, it felt like it was out of their way to do something. And ladies, you know that there are women out there like that. Professional daters. Men, you know that there are men out there like that. Also reciprocate and let that woman know that you appreciate the time. You appreciate the efforts that she's put forth. So I get it. Men have been hurt. Women have been hurt. So I know where a lot of this comes from. You want to make sure he or she is doing what they need to be doing if they want you as part of their life. So you want to hold them accountable. And that's great. But make sure that you're holding yourself accountable. That you're going to be respectful. You're going to be honest. You're going to be forthcoming with the information and the emotion so that things can move forward in a healthy way. So that was pretty much it. I didn't want to take too much of your time, but this is just something I thought that hopefully once I receive the program with the editing done, I can share not only my thoughts, but the thoughts of others in this podcast from that group from Australia. And it was something, surprising enough, a lot of women did not take into consideration, which is no different than here. And so accountability is key. I will never say accountability is not important. It very much is. Development in terms of self, mental, physical, spiritual, sexual. And one of the podcasts that I do have coming up is accountability and sex. This is a big one. So look forward to hearing that. But for now, while you're dating, hold yourself accountable while you're holding each other accountable. So I thank you for the time. You go to www.relationshipman.com and subscribe. I also have a YouTube channel, so look for Results with Ronnie Radio on YouTube and subscribe. I assure you I have much more content that I'll be releasing. I'm going to be doing some live streams. It's going to be great. The channel is just going to be phenomenal. Well worth your time. Some will be short, some will be long, but in the end, I can assure you it's going to add value. And I have some videos now, so if you go there, Results with Ronnie Radio on YouTube, if you feel that what I'm sharing adds some sort of value or perspective that you didn't think about, hit the subscribe button and notifications that when new content is out there, you'll be notified first. Also, you can go to Facebook to the Results with Ronnie Relationship Group. You can go to Twitter, Ronnie Walker 77, and follow me there. Instagram, Official Ronnie Walker. And also, if you're looking for consults and coaching, you go to www.resultswithronnie.com and book a consult or coaching. Again, my name is Ronnie Walker, Master Coach of Exceptional Relationships and Sex. I thank you. I wish you all an incredible day and exceptional relationship and dating and sex. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye right now.